everyone. I hope that you are doing all fine. Today I'm going to talk about Conditional Type 2 and Conditional Type 3. So let's start. Okay, today we're going to talk about firstly about second conditional unreal and imaginary situation. So they mean the same. Now how? This is the question. What would you do if you had a lot of money? So if I had a lot of money, I would buy a house. Or if I had a lot of money, I would buy a car. What about you? Now let's look at some examples. What would you do if you won the lottery? Let's think about it. If I won the lottery, so if I won the lottery, I would buy a house. I would travel the world. Let's see other example of that. Maxine would buy a new house for herself and her parents if she won the lottery. If Paul won the lottery, he'd take a trip around the world. Look, now they would take a trip. And John and his wife would buy a piano if they won the lottery or if they became rich. Next, so what is it about conditional type 2 is that we are talking about unreal situation or condition. What does it mean? It means that it's not real, it's imaginary, right? If we think about the possibility in the future or present time. Let's see how is it. If I had $1 million, I would. So you think about your sentences. And another is if I lived in Italy, I would. What would you do if you lived in Italy? If I got a job as a chef, I would. What would you do? Are these real situations? Do I really have $1 million? Do I really live in Italy? What do you think your answer would be? Yes, are they real? Say. No, these are imaginary situations. Okay. So now we're going to look at the type of the grammar or the form of the sentences. Look at this example. If my friend asked me for money, I would lend it to her. So you have if in the beginning of the sentence, then you have a verb. Look at the verb. What tense is it? And what would I would lend it to her. So for the second clause, for the imaginary situation that you are talking about, you use what? Would, will, might, should, what. So we can use would here and plus bare infinitive. Thomas would be happier if he got a less stressful job. So here, where is if? If is in the middle of the sentence. Thomas would be happier if he got a less stressful job. So for the first sentence, you have a comma in the between the first if clause and the second clause. But here you have if in the middle of both clauses. So you can see when you have it in the first part of the sentence, you have comma in the middle. If you have in the middle, no comma is needed. So another example, speaking in English would be easier if you practiced more frequently. Here, after the if clause part, what is the tense? Yes, is past simple past or past simple. And in the other clause, you use would plus verb. You can see would lend, would be easier, would be happier. Now let's look at form and meaning. When you imagine a future happening like this, you use a past tense form after if. So imagining the possibility or probability of the future. But do we talk about past? No. However, the meaning is not past. If I move to a big city, I'd sell my car. So here is the meaning is here is not the past tense. But what is it? I didn't move away and I didn't sell my car. So you can see this is an imaginary situation. It's not about the past. It's about future possibility. That's it. So here, and we are paying attention to notice that you can start these sentences with the if clause or with would clauses. If Martha moved abroad, she would learn another language. So you can start your sentence with if, or you can start your sentence with the second part of the conditional sentence. Martha would learn another language if she moved abroad. Don't forget the comma in the first part. If clause is used in the first part of the conditional sentences. Okay. Now let's do some examples. So what do you think the answer in this sentence would be? Here, if we more time and money, you're right. Here we go. Had, would take, another. The world, a better place if everyone, okay, let's check. Would be if everyone helped each other. So you can see if clause, if the sentence starts with if clause, and when the sentence starts with would clause. So here another example. So think about the answer. It's easy. If, so you need past tense verb, got, would feel, right? Next, Jack. So you have the sentence, you should start the sentence with would clause. Okay, would do, slept. Next. The important note here is about using where and was. Remember, when you're using where, your sentence is more formal, but if you use was, is more, mostly we use that in type of native speakers in their speaking used was in their sentence. For example, I say if I were you, here you can see the example. If I were you, I would buy that house. She would buy a mansion if she were wealthy. So here you can see if the example, we don't use was because the sentence is formal. But in informal sentences, you can use was. What would you do if you became rich, you found a wallet on the street? You can think about the answers on your own and make conditional sentences based on them. You became rich, you found a wallet on the street. I would answer one of them. What would you do if you saw a ghost? If I saw a ghost, I would scream. Okay, thank you. So conditional sentences, there are some examples again. Here you have help. If I were a banker, I totally save you. I wouldn't go out if I were you. So you're giving advice here. And what would you do? What would you try if you had no fear? And another sentence is, if you just apologize to Gable Hauser, he would give you your job back. Okay, now look at this story. Read this story. Last month, Brian was in hospital for an operation. Liz didn't know this, so she didn't go to see him. They met a few days ago. Liz said, "If I had known you were in hospital, I would have gone to see you." Liz said, "If I had known you were in the hospital." So you can, we say, result, you can come to a result. You can decide that she didn't know that. So when do we use this sentence? Here we go. In the third conditional. So what is a third conditional type of sentence? When we want to express unreal or hypothetical situation. What is it hypothetical? It means that you guess that something happened in the past. For example, here you say, if I had money, I would have been happy. So I had no money, I was unhappy. So everything happened in the past. So you regret it. It's an unreal situation. Maybe it's hypothetical situation. Maybe something great would have happened. Okay, but nothing happened. We mustn't use would and wouldn't in the if part of a sentence. What does it mean? For example, you have to say if you hadn't been late. So you can't say if you wouldn't been late. So it's wrong. You have to say if you hadn't been late. But would or wouldn't is used in the second clause, in the would clause. So say we wouldn't have missed the train. So the structure is like this. If I had plus past participle and the next part, comma, would have past participle. Let's look at some example and exercises. So I didn't know you were in the hospital. If I know, I go to see you. So what do you use here? How do you answer this question? How do you fill in the blanks in this sentence? And another example, you can see, okay, take your time, answer the question, and fill in the blank. Good. So let's check out your answers. Here, say, I didn't know you were in the hospital. If I had known, I would have gone to see you. Yes, I would have gone. So I is dropped there. It's my bad. Okay. John got to the station bus in time to catch his bus. If he had missed the bus, he would have been late for his interview. So I think that you got the idea of conditional type 3, and this is all about it. And I'm pretty sure your teacher will talk about it, and I will send you more exercises regarding this grammar topic. So thank you very much, and I hope that you got the idea of conditional second and conditional type third conditional, and that's all about it. We will send you more practices over that, and I'm pretty sure your teacher will explain the part that you didn't get from TV shoot. Thank you very much, and goodbye.